Dad always did like you best. Any family that has more than one child, even if that's never actually said, it resonates in the family in different directions at different times. Or Mom always liked you best. That's sort of, I think, some of the fears that Sarah was having in our Old Testament story. The Old Testament story starts quite a few years before this, when Sarah and Abraham have been promised that they are going to have a child in their old age, and that this child will be, they'll have all these, like the stars of the heaven, great nation. And no baby comes, and Sarah says, okay, so, I know it's not happened with me. And in those days it did happen, it was the way some things were. Sarah says, here's my slave girl, Hagar. Abraham, Hagar, have a baby, and that baby will be ours. They'd actually birthed the baby on the lap of Sarah, claiming that is her child. But before they got to that point, Hagar gets pregnant, and Sarah can't stand to see pregnant Hagar in the camp. Sarah takes it as a personal affront and runs Hagar out into the wilderness, banishes her, says, okay, never mind, that was a bad idea. Hagar out in the wilderness, thinking that all is lost, God comes to her and speaks with her and gives her the exact same promise that Abraham got. This is an amazing story to have you recorded in the scriptures so many years ago, when women shouldn't be associating with God. God, how long have we been even able to vote? This was 4,000 years ago. And this story is that God came to Hagar, and Hagar is blessed and is given the exact same promise. Your son will be the father of many nations. Go back to the camp. And Hagar names God there. She gives him the name El Roi. El is the Hebrew suffix that means the great one, the mighty one, the strong one. It's always dignified. So El something is lots of different names for God in the Bible. El Shaddai, and this one, El Roi, the God, the great one who sees me. Who sees me. And I have lived, she says. I have been seen, and I live. So she goes back, she has the boy, Abraham dotes over Ishmael. And then, you know how this works? Sarah gets pregnant. I had a friend who was introducing me to his two kids, and he says, yeah, the 8-year-old, she's a $150,000 in vitro baby, and the 7-year-old is the one that we looked at each other and said, really? We could actually do this ourselves? So Sarah has, gotten Ishmael, and then all of a sudden she is pregnant. And the boy, Isaac, when he is weaned, and Sarah sees the firstborn Ishmael and her son Isaac, Sarah once again says no to Ishmael. He will not inherit my son. And she knows somewhere in her head, Abraham might end up liking him best. Dad always liked the firstborn best. And so Sarah has Hagar banished again. Hagar and young Ishmael head off into the wilderness with bread, canteen of water, and out in the wilderness when it's all gone and the thirst is just overtaking them, once again, Hagar is visited by God, is seen, the slave woman, the one of no account, not in the world's standards. segue to our story today. Our story. Yours and mine today. Today is one of those days that I wasn't sure how I was going to get through this. Today is the day to announce that July 27th will be my last Sunday here. I've accepted the call to be, I've got some of these. I accepted the call to be the new rector of a parish, St. Thomas, in Richmond, Virginia. Now, I never thought I'd go back to Virginia, and I certainly never thought I'd go to a city. When I was a little girl, when I thought I was being called to be a missionary, I'm going, okay, so like the jungles of Africa. Okay, God, you can send me anywhere, but this was a prayer I actually prayed many times. You can send me anywhere, but please don't send me to the city. God has had to wait till I really grew up to do this. And I know how right it is. There's things in my heart that resonate in the same ways that over 12 years ago, they resonated when I was making tearful goodbyes to a parish I loved and was coming here to a place unknown, to people that I had no idea who they were, and I had not a friend in the world up here, and now this is the place that I love so dearly, with people that mean so much to me. And yet, God sees. El Roy. The God who saw Hagar sees us. And you may end up looking at the website of St. Thomas in Richmond and going, well, of course she's going there. It's a big parish, and there's more than one clergy, and who are we that she would want to be here? Remember Hagar. And the same promises that God offers to Isaac, God offers to Ishmael. And the same God who sees St. Thomas sees Christ Church. And the same love that rules here, I believe I will find again. Okay, now I need my notes because now I can't I can't quite track. Hagar thought she had been abandoned and that hope was lost, and my goodness, what are we going to do? Me and Ishmael. And there's just not provision, and it can't happen, and God sees. And God sees. I will be available after the service for whatever questions and things, and you're going to get more information. And there's a letter that I'll hand you at the back of the door that's being mailed out to people who aren't here, and it's going out by email also this afternoon. But and Hannah Anderson, the canon to the ordinary of the diocese, will be here next week, and she will be answering questions about what's next here to help you know that you're not alone, that the diocese has a process, and that so that you can know her, and that someone will be with you, and that there is a way forward. So she'll be able to answer questions about what comes next here. I'll answer whatever questions I can about what comes next for me. But there is a tremendous God who saw a forgotten slave woman in the desert. A God who sees us at our moments when we really need it, and sends us what we need. Right, Harry? a God who knows. So do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, for you are of more value than many sparrows. Do not be afraid. And I love you.